Howdy, Red Faction. There's a twid, and it's actually early. Wow, it's like a few minutes earlier than what it normally is. Either that or the fact that I've literally just been lying about not doing much, and I literally just hopped on to see, everything. But here we go. This week in Destiny, May 15th of 2025. This week in Destiny, we've been clashing in heavy metal while also dwelling into the Rite of the Nine. As we prepare for the next few weeks of content, we have some details and topics we want to share with you. Rite of the Nine calendar and war changes incoming. And this is actually a very interesting thing because I've been seeing people talk about the whole Rite of the Nine and why, again, are we doing Spire of the Watcher? Why aren't we doing Ghost of the Deep or Prophecy? Which is very interesting, like, to learn why they're not doing it. But, them changing it now is so much better. So starting today, our planned Rite of the Nine calendar will be changing. Each dungeon will be featured for 2 weeks as opposed to 3. Now, why were they doing 3? Part of me feels like they're like, okay, well, if people don't have the time to get into all this, we at least want to give them 3 weeks. 3 weeks of these challenges so people can do it, people can do helps, people can, grind these, like, however they feel. And then I get why, like, they had, like, the content, like, the dungeon exclusive weapons being available. I think it would have been better if, like, if, let's say, like, in the first encounter of Prophecy, you got this. Well, then in the second encounter, you got this. Like, they should line up those rewards so you have a chance of, like, just grinding, like, what encounter you want. Like how people do, like, if they want, like, best chance for the exotic, you go for, the final thing. Even though Prophecy doesn't have exotic available. Which is why I think in the quest they made the Galahorn exotic catalyst able to drop. But, like, Grasp isn't really that hard, per se. Especially now. But, regardless. Each dungeon will be featured for 2 weeks as opposed to 3, and we are increasing the nonary manifold currency drops, which can be exchanged for additional weapons. With this change, Ghost of the Deep will launch on the May 20th, alongside the above change. The second week of a given dungeon will also feature an increased weapon drop. Rewards can drop from any enemy defeat. Holofoils, the shinies, will be included in this change as well. For this week, we are rapidly working on an update that will turn on increased weapon drops in Spire of the Watcher until Ghost of the Deep becomes the featured dungeon next week. We'll let you know when that's deployed. Starting on June 17th, all Rite of the Nine dungeons will be available to play at any time on any difficulty, and increased currency drops will be active on all 3 dungeons. Each week, a featured dungeon will have increased weapon drops. This will begin with Spire on the 17th, Ghost on the 24th, and on July 1st, it will be Prophecy. On July 8th, a Loot-A-Palooza will begin. All 3 dungeons will have all reward bonuses enabled for the final week of Episode Heresy, alongside a new way to spend your nonary manifold currency, which gives all Guardians ample time to hunt for holofoils in the depths as they prepare for Edge of Fate that launches on July 15th. And to quickly revisit difficulty options, no matter if you're playing on Explorer, Eternity, or Ultimatum, we hope you are having fun and getting some great rewards. Let's go over what these 3 difficulties offer. If you want to have a chill time, just do Explorer. Everything's laid out, explained to you, blah 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 blah. It's a way that some people can use if they don't do these dungeons all the time. Eternity for those familiar with the dungeon are looking for extra rewards, but you don't want the most challenging experience. You can just feel the heat, just not as much as in Ultimatum. This is for those that do it. You crave adept loot, you want to be challenged. Revive tokens are limited, encounters have timers or enraged bosses. Everything just hits hard. Our goal with Rite of the Nine is to challenge more invested players through Ultimatum mode and reward them with adepts and holofoil weapons. We also want to empower part of the community that may not have experienced dungeons in the past. Hopefully this experience makes everyone more comfortable when jumping into the next raids and dungeons we launch. As we approach Friday, it's time to say goodbye to Heavy Metal for now. This is a call to anyone that still hasn't visited the event track, or the triumphs, or guilded, or have gotten the combat sparrow. I was talking a little bit with my clan, and I asked if anyone's done Heavy Metal, and some of them have. I want to bring up the point, because I don't know if he's made a post sharing his thoughts. He might have on Blue Sky to the team, but I want to share his perspective on Heavy Metal, because I feel that it's a valuable thing to see, and how to take a look at this. So, honestly, in his opinion, this is from my buddy Carnage, this is my clan leader, the game mode sounds awesome on paper, but it's more annoying than fun, again, in his opinion. You have one small map, you constantly get stuck on stuff, the breakable vehicles and environment take seconds to despawn, blocking movement and the ability to collect coins, not to mention a team-based mode that forces you to play selfishly, especially for seal and gilding. Only being able to get health and secondary ammo from collecting coins is stupid, especially when you have teammates who steal your coins. The vehicles feel slow and clunky, and the damage is very inconsistent. I also feel if they want something other than supremacy, they went with something other than supremacy. If they went with something other than supremacy, it wouldn't be as annoying. At this point, I can't completely comprehend why not just bring back the new and improved combined arms, utilizing all types of vehicles and turrets, allow players to exit, enter vehicles/turrets at will, and have a game mode that's either TDM, capture and defend, also 6v6, not 3v3. Which I think is a valid freaking point. Another person in my clan said the mode was dumb, but hey, the Sparrow's fun to mess with, it's worth the rage. So yeah, if you want the Sparrow, cool, it's the first unique one. I have a feeling, though, that in Ashes and Iron, when this combined arms mode comes back, this Sparrow will come back. That's just my thought. Also, I don't know why this event, one, it only lasted a week, and why it took the place of Trials. I don't think that was a smart move. You could have had it replace something else for a whole week. That's just my opinion. To get rid of a mode that not at like a weekly thing. That would take over a mode that a majority of the Destiny player base, especially a lot of your creators, always try to play every week in Trials. To have Heavy Metal take that place for a whole week and stay there, seems weird to me. Like, yeah, I had fun in it, but I definitely see where people can have problems with it. I mean, I saw a problem, and I just laughed it off, because it was just stupid. Like my frickin' my tank, and that's the thing. Like the tanks, they feel better, but I think that those things need to go like on a cooldown that is not as short. And I feel that the rockets, they don't feel like rockets. You know, you ever notice how the rockets that you use in Destiny, you fire them, they're fast. These feel very slow. Like And I'm not talking the cannon shots. The cannon shots too. It doesn't feel like it works enough, especially considering like how you've used those cannons in any other mode. You know, whenever you used a Drake tank, you always had this like you could always fire and use your rockets multiple times. I don't like the fact that it has this like really slow fire rate. Like the Drake tank is like they tune back how much it takes you to load, and you're one Guardian. Like a 3v3 on a small map, okay, it makes sense. But you could have had a different map. Why is it only the Brig is only on Europa? Like, I feel like the Brig firing like one cannon shot and then having rockets doesn't play into the whole thing of a Brig tank. And the Brig's only having like a dodge instead of like the little thing where they can hover really takes the fun out of playing a Brig, because the Brigs are so slow, they're so clunky. Yeah, the tank makes sense, but like how to deal with the fact that you would make the Brigs have more movement is you allow the tanks to do more consistently with what we know Drake tanks to do. That's my thought. Um, so unless you have the Griffin tank and you have the title, everything, good on you. I don't think I'm gonna do it. It'd be nice to have like the whole heavy metal thing, but I would end up just putting my Dredgen title back on. After giving the floor to heavy metal last week, Trials returns with Dead Cliffs and Aisha's Care. As an extra, you'll gain increased reputation for completing matches. This is also your first opportunity to earn jobs of the Inquisitor. The reprised Precision Slug that was added back in Update 8.2.6. How does that work when Aisha's Care is featured? You still must research. You must still have a streak of victories in the Flawless Passage to get Adept weapons. But the moment you start earning those Aisha Care Adept drops, you'll also get the Inquisitor Adept. With such a combo of weapons that cover close and medium to long ranges, we'd love to hear what strategies our creators in the community are using. We're always happy to amplify your content, especially to help newer players so they understand how rotations work on a specific map. Which spots work best, what roles they should be hunting. Best of luck to everyone in Trials. Never hesitate to show the loot you earn and share any feedback you have. Okay, let's just put this out here. So, you're bringing back a precision slug shotgun that is arc. In a meta right now where rapid fire frame weapons are very good. Heck, even some lightweights are good. I don't feel... Would I like to get an arc shotgun that could be good? Yeah, because I honestly don't believe that there's an arc shotgun that I like. I mean, Sudden Death has been changed to Void. Unvoiced is Void. Deadpan is meh. The Arcane Embrace is meh. A lightweight frame there, I'm not too much of a fan of. Inquisitor's that. Hand in Hand's kind of meh. Ganora's Axe, that's only if you're doing, you know, frickin' Iron Banner. Matador is really probably the best option. I hate the fact that, you know, they made a new Void one when they literally have an option for a Void one from Sons of Doctrine. Let's see what else. You know, of course, is Prophet of Doom being a precision frame versus a pinpoint slug. Let's see, what else is there? I mean, Found Verdict is another solid pick. Let's see, going through all of these. I feel like in terms of shotguns, there was a lot of good ones that they just decided to kind of scrap. But that's me, and I'm not the biggest shotgun guy. But having that option in an arc slot to allow me to use kind of something else would be nice, per se. But I can't really see them going crazy with it. But that's my opinion. I'm not really a Trials guy. I played it only to get the Adepts, so I don't know if I'll play it to get the Inquisitor. Especially considering that Sunday's a gotcha day, and then, you know, the Flesh Tuber comes back on Saturday.
You're supposed to say hi to her. Carrie.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Bye, I'm in the middle of something.
Oh! Did you hear him? I said to Alex, you're supposed to say hi. He goes, yeah, hi. I'm in the middle of something.
So yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know if I might do a couple, or I'll just do it after the, you know, after the Flesh Tuber's done. I'll just do it like on the side, see what we can do, or I'll just do it over the weekend when he's not doing his stuff. Iron Banner is coming back on the 20th, which kind of again feels weird because, you know, we lost a week of Trials. Now we're going to get a week back, and then we're losing another week. The new Solar Scout Rifle is available. Yeah. This is the last one. This is for those one. This is the second to last one. The last Iron Banner of Episode Heresy will be June 17th. So make it count. Yeah, sure. Next week we'll have Hardware as a modifier in Supremacy. Supremacy is a Crucible game mode. Yeah. We already know what that is. On top of that, there's Hardware, where it disables your super ending abilities. It's focused entirely on gunplay. And guess what? With how things stand right now in terms of PvP, yeah. Bungie Foundation for Good is happening. Join us next Thursday for that. In addition, Gauntlet 2025 is coming back. Miss Patch Note, with update, we fixed an issue where the Rumptious were past upgrade with the reshaped items providing extra damage when consuming sigil stones, even when the suffocating terror debuff wasn't applied. Reroll chip purchase disabled. Okay. I have a feeling this won't get fixed for a while. Some stuff is still not fixed yet. I don't know why. Art of the Week and Movie of the Week. Yep, okay. And we're done for today. In the following weeks, we'll start unfolding some of the changes that we announced in our Edge of Fate reveal. So longer articles are coming soon. We keep aim to keep you aboard. Yeah. Okay. So speaking about this, I'm going to bring up a point I have um, with um, a game mode that I love, and I know you've heard me yap about it before. If they don't clarify what's going on with Gambit in the Edge of Fate, it is going to be the most irritating thing to frickin' deal with. Because I've seen people talk about it. Well, they said they're going to turn into something like Iron Banner. No, that's stupid. Do not turn frickin' my favorite mode that has been here, that you have a whole character on, who is featured in this story. Don't frickin' take it out because people don't like it. I don't care what people don't frickin' like. I gotta deal with you trial sweats who you only use hand cannons and shotguns and only use snipers because people say, oh yeah, this sniper's really good, and that's the only reason why some of you use it. You didn't deal with the sniper stuff when we were dealing with it. No. I swear, there's some people just irritate me. But yeah, that's my whole thing. The article that they're going to be releasing, the first one should be a clarification of the stuff, an easier clarification on what activities are going to be featured in the portal. Are some activities that are in the destinations tab that they're going to call the world in their thing that they showed off, keeping Gambit available, not turning it into a stupid event that we have to wait for, because that's going to be fun. Because one, what turning it into events going to do, considering the fact that there's PvP elements to Gambit, it's going to take over in terms of Iron Banner. Oh, well, when Iron Banner is available, there's no trials. Huh. Yeah, that's going to make the PvP community, who already hates Gambit, really want to play a mode in their PvP stuff that has PvE elements. Because half of the people that play purely PvP just want to shoot people in the face. They're going to be sticking to other stuff. The only thing that they could do that would make Gambit feel better for both Drudgeons, for PvP players, for the PvE players, is you got to change up the mode. Okay? You got to add more maps. You have to do more things. Like, you can't have it be this, crazy thing. And heck, you don't even give us an option for Gambit in this. I mean, most of the maps that you have don't have that many options for enemies. It's like a few maps that have like 5 options for enemies. Like, why? Gambit needs to be split up again. There needs to be the 3-round one that's at 75. And there has to be Gambit Prime that's going to come back as a thing to do on the weekend. That should be available to run coincide with Trials. That features everything that Gambit Prime originally had. Okay? The original Gambit, you go to 75 motes, you kill the Primeval in a constant damage phase. First one to defeat that Primeval wins that round. You go on to the next round. If the enemy team wins, you go into a sudden death. Primeval's up right away. You have to kill that thing as fast as possible. It'd be a fun little thing that you have for Gambit. Gambit would be fun because the matches won't be as long. There'd be a constant state of, okay, we know the enemy already. We got this. Like, it's just that simple. And then Gambit Prime is something you do on the weekend. It comes out on, it launches on Friday. It's available until the Tuesday reset. It gives you rewards, like adept versions of some of the Gambit weapons that you currently don't have available, that need to, you know, have better loot options that you can get. Or, you know what? Here's a funny thing. How about you take the Season of the Deep weapons, you know, the weapons that you got from Gambit, bring them in, yeah? And you can do that. You can get things like the Spare Rations, the Last Man Standing. Take out Just in Case and put in the Doomsday. You have Soul Survivor. And you can feature one of the regular Gambit weapons in there too, because, God, you have enough of them. Let's just go to the Drifter real quick and I'll say how many weapons that aren't currently available in the loot drop that you can get from Gambit, because there's enough. Let's go legacy focusing. What we got? Oh, well, let's see. Bad Omens, Gnawing Hunger, Night Watch, Crowd Pleaser, Bottom Dollar, Tyranny System, Borrow Time, Servant Leader, Heresy, which is a high impact. High impact autos got buffed, so there's that. Deadweight, Yesteryear, Auburn D, and the Trust. There's like, what, 13 options? No, more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. Yeah, there's 13 options. You can reprise some of the Gambit armor, because you have enough legacy armor. You have the original Apocalypse. Then you have the stupid Calamity rig. Then you brought back the legacy armor for the Reaper, the Sentry, the Invader, the Collector, and then you brought this new legacy armor in that's more of this, you know, snake design. And then the Promise gear, except for like the gauntlets, look like shit. I get why you're having the snake design, but you can do it in a better way. I'm sorry. And the fact that there's not a bond for this, or maybe there is, and you just can't focus it. Yeah, there's a bond for it, and it doesn't look good. There's like a little bit of snake, you know, scales on there. Yeah, no. Not good. And hey, if you want, like, you know, like, let's say you're someone that never fully got the Notorious Invader set, or the Notorious Sentry, or the Notorious Collector, reprise it, kind of slim it down a little bit so it's not as clunky looking for the different classes. You know. And, yeah, there you go. I mean, you have options. You have options with it. Why not do it? I mean, I think that would be a lot better. And that was something about the old Gambit armor that was so much better. Is like the snakes didn't just stay one color. They changed depending on like what you were. And that could be an interesting thing that adds, like, once you complete your card, you know, because you give us card options. You know, like you grab this little mote that goes, hey, look, there's this. This mote is your objectives. You have to win a match, complete an objective, in order to progress to a realm area of the 9, kind of like what we're doing with Rite of the 9. That would give you Gambit-related adept weapons. There would be an adept weapon each week. It could be Soul Survivor, Spare Rations, Last Man Standing, Doomsday, all that stuff. It would have Disaster Plan, but it would also have Gun and Run. Which, I mean, the original Soul Survivor was a lot better than the one that you gave us. Okay, so that would be so much better. Because the new one you gave us really doesn't have great rolls for an arc sniper. I'm just being honest there. It doesn't really have good rolls. Like, you compare it to, you know, they're both 90s, but you can get snapshot opening shot, which is one of the best perks to have on an adaptive sniper. That's not available with the current Soul Survivor. So you can do that, and you should do that. Because it's, honestly, Gambit Prime being a weekend thing that people can do is going to get people more interested in Gambit, and Gambit having a smaller thing that it used to have that you play, and then, okay, well, now Gambit Prime. The matches go faster. It's more fun. It's more exciting. It's not the same thing. Gambit right now, it's, okay, gotta collect 100 motes. Do all this. It's one time. If we mess up, we lose. Like, original Gambit was like, okay, we didn't do well this time. We have to get him these next 2 times. And then you, like, focus up. You do better. Or, or, what you do, and I should be making this a whole video, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to talk about right here, because they're going to talk about, you know, in the following weeks, we'll start unfolding some of the changes that we announced in the Edge of Fate reveal. So, longer articles, so they're going to go more in depth on these changes. Okay, so the Portal one better be really fucking good and better mention Gambit. But here's going to be my thing. Here's what you can do. If you want to keep Gambit Prime, the Gambit Prime mode that you currently have iteration of Gambit with, that is fine. If you don't want to change anything with, you know, the current Gambit system that you think you have, go for it. You're more than capable of doing that yourself. Here's what I'm going to say. Keep the Gambit that you have. This 100 mode, you know, stuff, whatever. bring back the old one, make it a weekend thing, give it the rounds and everything. It'd be a best 2 out of 3. When you could throw the envoys in there, you kill the envoys. It summons a little puddle area that you have to stand in, like original Gambit Prime, that you do boss damage in. Because the current iteration that you have for Gambit with doing bosses is, okay, we killed both Primevals, let's go all the way back to the little starting area where we ran through to start this match, and we'll do damage from there. Because that's what people do. You've made the invaders' job harder, because now they're forced to spawn farther away from the enemy team, because the enemy team has now taken out the envoys. They're running back to their initial area. They're not staying in that area. So now the invader has only 2 areas where they can spawn, and they have to run. Well, there's a guardian here watching this one, there's a guardian here watching this one, and there's the people doing the damage. I'm not a fan of that. When you kill an envoy, they should have kept the puddle there. That was like the most annoying change that they made to Gambit, in my opinion, and it's still the one I don't like. I don't like it because it just makes things way more difficult. You know, like as a Reaper Sentry, I guess, because Sentries dealt with, invaders and blockers and everything. I preferred when I could just, okay, my team's doing the damage. I see the enemy's evasion portals up. I'm going to go to a spot. I'm going to overwatch for my team. Okay? If I didn't get Primeval Slayer, that didn't matter. It wasn't my job to kill the Primeval. It was my job to kill anything that gets in the way of our win. So it's a Sentry Reaper. Or an Anti-Invader Reaper is what I actually call myself. That should be something you do. You pick up a thing. Okay, you got the Reaper one, you got the Invader one, you got the Sentry one, and you got the Blocker one. There's objectives you have to do. You have to do that and win to progress. If you lose, but you did the objective you had to do, you still had an opportunity to go to this area and get your Adept reward. As long as you complete your objective in the match, which sometimes doesn't always happen. And the rewards should be tied to what your objective is. So, you could have, the Reaper would get something that allows, like, it would be a heavy or a special that allows you to kill enemies faster. Invader would have one that allows you to deal with enemy players. Blocker, collectors would have one that can do rapid damage, get your motes faster, give you something that gives you the opportunity to just move quicker. Sentries would have something that is just heavy hitting, easy for dealing with stuff. That's options. You have 4 options of getting some of the best possible loot. And, okay, it's like, oh, I got this Adept already. You can turn that in and pick up a new one. Or just grind on that one to get a better roll. And it would give you the armor, like the Notorious Reaper, Notorious Invader, all the Notorious stuff. That would be the armor that you would receive that would have that high rarity stat that they're talking about in the final shape. Or not in the final shape, in the Edge of Fate. Like, come on, that's a great thing. In my opinion, at least. I don't know about everyone else, but in my opinion, that is pretty freaking neat. But yeah, with that being said, my rant has gone on too long. So yeah. That being said, Red Faction, I will see you guys on Tuesday for patch note reads. Purple Faction, we got gotcha on frickin' Sunday. So I'll see y'all later.